Hey guys, Duncan here again. Talk about the NFL slash Colin Kaepernick protest and how it stinks of BS. But first, please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and comment in the box below. Plus hit that bell for notifications. So with that said, let's talk about this protest and how it started and all that. So remember in the beginning of this whole thing, Kaepernick was trying to be a starter again. He was claiming he could play. The 49ers were reluctant to put him out there because he had an injury clause. They didn't want him to get hurt. They didn't want to be in the hook for millions and millions of dollars. With the idea that they were planning on departing with him probably anyway at the beginning of this year. So with that said, 49ers front office was not going to put him on the field until he renegotiated the contract. Now, players hold out all the time. Only when an office does it, people freak out. Now, because he did not feel like he was part of the team, he did not participate in a team activity like the national anthem, he kneeled. He kneeled quietly at first. No one noticed. But then they did. And then they started asking him if it was based on his contract. He kept denying it was based on the contract. He kept talking about how it was based on this mistreatment of black players in the NFL. They started talking about how players of color are treated like criminals when they're not, yada yada yada. Well, here's the problem with that. His own teammates in 2013 led the league in arrests. We're talking about DUIs, we're talking about domestic violences, drug abuse, we're talking about vehicular manslaughter. The NFL had, at the same time, people going to prison, players of color going to prison for murder. Both vehicular and gang-style murder. You had players getting in trouble for breaking the laws everywhere you turn around. Yet, he was going to tell us that we're not supposed to look at him as being criminal, when in fact many of us look at as being overpriced teenagers. They get paid a lot of money and they abuse that situation. That's a fact. Now, when that point is brought up and his contract is renegotiated, he then realizes that at this point his contract is still the number one selling contract in the NFL. So he wants to keep that popularity going. He's the starter again, so he wants to perform. And he did with Chip Kelly, who's known for boosting up guys like Nick Foles, who we laugh at now. So Kaepernick has his good year, but he continues this protest. And anytime he's asked about it, he's wearing pig socks or Fidel Castro shirts, talking about how America's been oppressive. Then they talk about the social injustice movement, despite the fact that none of them want to talk about the black-on-black murders, none of them want to talk about the abortion rate amongst the minority groups. None of them want to talk about the factors that lead to social injustices that they claim. None of them won't, they all scream about white privilege, even though most of them are all privileged enough to make millions to play a game. Okay, so that's really the fact. And then when you bring that up, they say that they earned that right. Well, last I checked, I'm a white person and I was never given anything in my life. So I don't see the white privilege there. The fact is, this whole movement is BS. The protest is BS. There's no such thing as a social injustice in America anymore. The real social injustice is a bunch of people of color linked to the Brotherhood of Islam is standing against slavery that hasn't existed in almost 200 years, all of which time they're going to mosque to go preach with a bunch of people in the Brotherhood of Islam who currently has millions of their own black slaves today in places like Africa, Pakistan, all over. That's the real social injustice. The real social injustice is they can't figure out that shooting themselves over the color of a rag is probably going to bring cops who want to shoot back, especially when innocent people get caught in the middle. And see, when you take all that in consideration, and then taking the fact that the game itself has become lathered with can't touch the punter, can't touch the quarterback, you don't know what's a catch and what's not a catch anymore. The whole game itself is diluted. And now you just add in this anti-American protest, and people are turning out. And that's my thought. What's yours? Please comment in the box, subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and all that good stuff. Peace. Duncan out.